All right, Coach, thanks for joining me. Obviously, we're on the road here in the midst of this 6-game road trip. Got a big game tonight against the Pelicans. How would you assess where we are right now as a team?
Yeah, overall the road trip's been really good. Obviously, last game was really tough. Fourth game in 6 nights on a back to back. And Mike said it before the game and after the game. It's no excuse. Every team in the NBA has to go through back to backs and have to go through tough road trips, and we got to be professional and show up. And we didn't do that. We had no pop on offense. We had no physicality on defense, and we got our behinds kicked. So fortunately, we get to play them again, and I think our guys are ready to go.
You know, we watched Zion up close and personal on Monday, and he's a beast. He's a load. And I know on the scouting report, keep him from going left, keep him out of the paint, but it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, how'd that go?
I think you might still be scoring in the paint right now.
Yeah, we didn't do our job individually nor collectively against Zion, and really against our whole team. Obviously, it was expounded with Zion because it's all just right at the rim. He shot 0 jump shots, and it seemed like he had 50 layups on us, and every single one of them was the same way. We did a poor job adjusting, and we did a poor job at the point of attack on him. Hopefully our game plan will stick a little bit better tonight. We'll have a little more energy. We had a day off yesterday,
Right.
give the guys some rest. But it's honestly with a guy like him, and it's similar to LeBron and Giannis and these physical specimens, right? You cannot do the job alone. It
Right.
takes 5 guys to stop those guys. Everyone can point fingers of who was guarding them. Why didn't they do their job? No, you can't guard guys like that one-on-one. So I think we have a really good game plan going into tonight. We just got to execute it and play with a little more urgency and a little more physicality.
Here we are a month into the season, and it's clear as day, there are no nights off in the NBA, especially this year. What about the parity in the Western Conference? We see Houston's balling out right now. Every night is going to be a tough matchup.
Yes, especially early in the season,
Yeah.
right? Everyone has hope early in the season, and then the season kind of plays out, and some teams, rise and some teams drop. But these first 20, 25 games, it's usually like this. If you think about last year, I think Utah started like 10-2 or 9-3.
Yeah, they got off to a good start.
Everyone's so excited to play and show what they've been working on in the offseason, and coaches are so locked in. And then, for whatever reason, usually the better teams just stay consistent and keep working, and things generally pan out the right way, barring injuries, which, we've been fortunate last year to avoid those, and we've been a little nicked up now. But so far across the league, you see, like, even in the East, Orlando, and like you mentioned, the West, Houston, teams that going into the season, there probably weren't a lot of expectations, but, you show up and you realize real quick that every team has NBA players. We're still in the NBA. It doesn't matter what your expectations are. These guys are trying to make a living. They're trying to work for their families, and they're good players. They're talented players. So you got to show up every night with a championship mentality. If it doesn't matter who we're playing, this is about what we do.
Yeah.
And I think our guys are coming around on that, and I think there's still a ton of room for improvement in that area.
I was going to ask you about that, because this team, talking about the Kings, we haven't been whole all season long yet. I mean, Trey Lyles, hopefully he plays tonight. You got Keegan banged up. How, as a coach, how difficult is it to get into a flow, a rhythm with these guys? I know it's the NBA, but when you have guys in and out, nicked up here and there.
Yeah, everyone goes through it. We had the stretch with Fox out. I think we went 2 and 3 in that stretch. Like you said, Trey's been out the whole season. He was close, and then he had a setback, and pretty sure he'll play tonight. And then, like you mentioned, Keegan, Alex Len, Keon, Duarte, Sasha. Like we've had over the course of 13, 14 games now, we've had anywhere from 6 or 7 guys with, whether it's missing a whole game or missing a half a game or missing a stretch of games. But the reality is, just like I said, with back-to-backs, every team in the NBA goes through this. Like Phoenix, for example, hasn't had a single minute with their big three, like,
right?
Not a single minute.
Yeah.
And so for us to complain about guys missing, it would be it would do us a disservice, because everyone goes through it.
Right.
It's part of the NBA, and that's why you hopefully have the depth and the guys that stay ready with their preparation, and our coaching staff, and so that when their minutes are increased, or when they go from 0 minutes to a rotation spot, they're ready to go.
I know you work a lot, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox. His numbers are up 37.5% from three. He's taken 9 threes per game. Tell me about the offseason work you did with De'Aaron this year.
Yeah, it was similar to last year. Obviously, the shooting is always going to be a big focus. We both feel like, and our staff and organization feel like, if he can shoot the ball at a consistent level, there's really no way to guard him. That's just the reality. He's so quick, he's so fast, he's so skilled. He has great touch in the. He's, if not the best, one of the best guard finishers in the NBA, around the rim and around the paint. And last year, his numbers were historic. Within a couple feet of the basket at like LeBron, Giannis, Jokic levels, which is insane for a guy his size. Yeah. So when you have that talent and then you couple it with shooting, it's really, defenses are at the mercy of what he wants to do, which is how you want your star player to be. That's, talk about championship teams, the Jokic's, LeBron's, the Steph's, KD's, go across the board. They always have at least one, if not two of those guys where there's really nothing you can do. You just hope you can slow them down. Yeah. And I think up to this point this season, Fox has been playing at that level. He's been playing at an MVP championship caliber level. And our focus as a staff, and we tell him every day, and his focus personally, if he can stay at that level and then bring his teammates up with him, we're gonna have a real shot at this thing. And it's got to be a consistent every game or not. Practice, shooting workouts. Okay. The focus on the habits and the details are what makes you that level of player. The talent's there. There's probably 20, 30 guys with maybe his level of talent. But the habits are what takes those guys, and the competitiveness are what takes those guys to what you're seeing now. Of no, every day is the same. There's no days off. Now you have rest days, but when you step foot on the court, it's on.
You're bringing it,
and it's on not just for you. It's on for
and you're
everyone
seeing that
around
from him, right?
Absolutely. He's shown so much growth and whatever you want to call it, leadership. You want to call it, that's what I would call it. Just his leadership, and it's not a fake rah rah. I'm gonna get everyone going. It's like, no, I'm trying to win, and if you're gonna play with me, we're trying to win. And I think when you showed that level of dedication between him, Domas, your quote unquote leaders, there's nowhere to hide. Yeah. There's nowhere to hide as a role player. So if we're going to try to do this thing, and that's our coaching staff, we're not coming here to make the play. We're trying to win a championship. Right. And the guys can feel that when we coach. The best thing as a coach to feel is your star players also start showing that every day. And that's where this thing really comes together. So you talk about the shooting. To me, the shooting is a byproduct of his focus to details. And to me, he's capable. He's more than a capable shooter. It's every single workout. You don't just get shots up to get shots up. You get shots up to make shots. And when you do that, all of a sudden it starts translating to the game, because you get in the game and you're like, oh, this feels the same. This isn't like a game to a practice. This is like, I've been doing this every day.
That's one of the things. And I know, you're on the Warrior staff, Steph Curry, like the way he practices is game speed. It's not just, I'm floating around. With De'Aaron, how many shots are you getting up a day? And is it a 500? Is it like, what's the method of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, you mentioned Steph, and we were fortunate. De'Aaron signed with this company with the Steph Curry and Under Armour, and we were fortunate enough to, with my relationship and then Steph's relationship with De'Aaron, go work out with Steph quite a bit this summer. And small little segments. We would go down to San Francisco and Palo Alto and work out with them, and a few little, whatever you want to call them, mini camps. And it's easy for a coach to tell guys, like, we've been around these guys. I've been around, KD and Steph and Clay and Chris Paul and Book, and like, these are the way these guys work. And it's easy for me to say that. It's a different thing for Fox to feel that. It's tangible. It's right in front of you. And it was crazy. The first time he worked out with them, he was excited and he was ready to go. And by the end of the workout, his forearms were cramping.
Really?
His forearm, like he literally, I've never seen anyone's his forearms were cramping from not only the volume, but how intense everything is. And he after the workout, Fox is looking at me, and I'm like, and it's not, this isn't every day. This is how he works out. And that's why when you see him in the NBA finals, or like in game 7 dropping 50, like that's who he is. Yeah. And so I think once you see that with your own eyes and you feel it, automatically his level of work is like, oh, that's what it takes. All right, here we go.
Right.
So
And wow.
so I think I forget what even question you asked, but for Fox to transform our team and himself into that player, that's the work that goes into it. And I think he's doing that, at a top tier level right now.
It's important to see greats, all-time greats, and like you said, see it for yourself.
Right.
Like you said, oh, this is what Steph doing. This is what it takes. I'm gonna get there, and that's what we're seeing from De'Aaron. Now you went, the story obviously you went on the honeymoon workout. We know that, but did you guys go anywhere exotic again this year? Did you go overseas, or was it pretty much local this year?
Yeah, it was mostly local.
Okay.
I'd say 90% of the summer we were in Sacramento, which is great for me. I have 3 kids and a young family, and he has kids and a young family and a new wife, and to just stay in your community and get some time to digest the season, but also take a step back while you work and get your off season work in. But we ended up going to Spain this year.
Everybody went to Spain. I heard Davion went to Spain also. Do they have like an NBA players? Is that
Yeah, we didn't go there. They have
okay.
a players association gym in
okay.
Malaga in the south of Spain. It's really nice. That players association did a great job with it.
Right.
We ended up going to Barcelona, actually close to Jordy's hometown. And Jordy actually hooked us up with Ricky Rubio's people, so we worked out in Rubio's gym. Bielitsa was over there. There's a couple guys that we ran into and worked out. So we spent about a week in Barcelona, a little less than a week, and then we spent a handful of days in Madrid, and we worked out at Real Madrid's facility in Madrid. So it was a great way to whatever you want to call it, vacation. Well, not really taking a vacation. We would basically block off from anywhere 9:30 in the morning till around noon. And that was our work day.
That was the work.
And we got Zach Howe, our head strength coach, came with too. Both of our wives came, so they would all hang out by the pool.
Okay.
They would come watch the workout, and then basically the rest of the day was fun. We were on the beach, went paddle boarding, going out to eat. A great trip, but it still.
I'm jealous. You know that, right? I'm listening to this. I'm like, man, I was just hanging in Folsom all summer. But go ahead.
No, it was and for me and my wife especially, I played overseas, so we've lived that experience. And you get into coaching, you don't get to just pop over there anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was playing in Germany and Belgium and all these countries, but when you're over there and you have a day off, you can just pop over to Paris. You know what I mean? You can see the world and feel it. And like you're part of these communities, and then you just take that away, and now you're coaching them, and life's still amazing, but you miss that like side of it, you know? So when D and Risset came up and said they want to take another trip, I was like, I'm let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. Yeah. Let me know if you need any play-by-play or any studio work or anything. I'll go too next time.
That's great.
You coached the summer league squad. I know that was a great experience for you. Just describe doing that this summer.
Yeah, it was special. It's super grateful that Mike would choose me to do that, and super grateful. It was one of the best growing experiences for me as a coach, learning experiences. Obviously I'm competitive and want to win every game, but to go through, and it's just basically, maybe 6 weeks with the planning leading up to it, putting the team together and working with the front office with that, and then going into a mini training camp. And then you have the 2 summer leagues, one in Sacramento, one in Vegas. It was an incredible experience. I learned so much. I felt like it made me a better assistant coach for Mike, even though obviously the stakes aren't as high, but you get to feel what, on a very minute level, what Mike goes through on a day-to-day,
right?
In terms of the preparation, the planning. You got your whole coaching staff, plus a front office, plus a medical staff, plus a performance staff, all coming to you for what you want to do. And
so you handled all of that. Like you were guys giving the answers. Like they came to you for everything.
If they had a question, it was like, hey, what do you want to do with this? How do you want to handle this? How do you, and that part of it, and it has nothing to do with X's and O's. It has nothing to do with game. Like that part of it was such a good learning opportunity for me to see what like really goes into being a head coach.
Right.
Because you don't think about any of that stuff as an assistant. You don't think about guys coming up with these random questions. How do you want to deal with this?
Right.
Like, you're just like, all right, what's the game plan? What's my scout? How do I work this guy out? Like, how do I get this guy better? And as a head coach, you realize real quick, like, how much you need to depend on your assistants for guidance in times of like, all right, I have a pretty good feel of what I want to do. What are you guys seeing?
Right.
And I think that when you're sitting in that seat, it's going to make you a better assistant, because now you have that lens a little bit of like, all right, you have to be very detailed with your opinion, and you always have to have a why. And I always try to go back to what I'm seeing and then do the numbers support that. Right.
Okay. Right.
And you got to be quick with it, because a coach has got to gather, 5, 6, 7 different opinions and then make your decision.
Make the decision. Yeah.
And so if you guys got coming up at left field and this and that and Mike handles it better than anyone I've ever been around.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
he loves outside the box opinions. It doesn't matter who it comes from. It doesn't have to be from Jordy or myself or Jay or Doug. It could come from a film guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'll listen.
He'll listen and take that into account.
And then he'll say, why? Why do you want to do that? And then if you have a good reason, and then you say also, and then the numbers would support this. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna think about that.
All right.
And he'll do it.
Yeah.
And so going back to summer league, like, you don't realize how many different opinions and little things, and then sometimes in the middle of the game, we're playing. I think it was Atlanta, one of our first couple of games in Vegas, and they went small on us, and they were just like hitting threes. And one of our coaches was like, we should go small back. And I'm looking over there, and I'm like, yeah, we could do that. And one of the other ones is like, no, let's go big. and I'm like, all right, so which way do we go?
Right,
do we go small or do we go big? And I'm sitting, and you got 10 seconds.
Right. You got to make it on the fly.
And so we ended up going small. They hit another three, and I was put the bigs in. And we literally just pounded the post and won the game. And it's so anti what I believe in basketball.
Right.
But it's what helped us win.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little things like that. Now you, on a way smaller level, the stakes were nothing compared to what Mike goes through. Now you think about, all right, we're playing New Orleans tonight. I already have 6 ideas of what could work in the game, but you got to feel the game before you go with that opinion.
Yeah. Right. You got to see how it plays out. Right. Before I let you go, I always admire your shoe game. Trust me, I peep you. I may not say anything when we come into the gym or in the arena, but I'm like, I wonder what Luke got on today. Tell me about your shoe game, man, and who's your connect? You put me on to him or what? Great. You always got the J's on it.
Yeah, a lot of J's, a lot of Kobe's.
Yeah.
I think it comes with playing like with hooping.
Yeah.
If you hoop at any level, you're gonna be naturally into. You should be into kicks. It's like your instrument, right? Like doctors have your instrument. Like, we have to wear shoes. Now, they don't have to be nice, but you got to wear shoes to hoop. But I got into shoes probably my freshman or sophomore year at Florida State, playing at Florida State. And we got a pair of, going into the NCAA tournament, we got a pair of like all black Kobe 6s. And I was like, oh, these are nice. They felt good and you look good. And then it just kind of grew from there. Playing overseas, I would always try to go, get some nice shoes on the side. And we go to shoe stores and we traveled around. And now with having 3 kids, I can't like spend the money.
Right.
You got stuff there. You got food to afford. Diapers,
all that.
But fortunately, we have some good connections with Nike, and then our players obviously have all the connections in the world. And they can get shoes that I've never even seen before. So like Malik will I guess you say hand me down some shoes, and Fox is so generous with his shoes. And fortunately, we all wear. There's like 6 or 7 of us that all wear size 13. And so,
I wear 13 too. 13. Yes, I do, big dog. I need the hand-me-downs. You know what I mean? Malik, give them to you. You swing them over to me.
I got you.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, just a small part of it is something most guys that, especially with the players, like having those relationships with your players, I think is important. And being able to connect. Like, a lot of guys play video games. I don't play them anymore. But it's one of those things that if you can connect somehow and bridge the gap with your players and have that relationship with them, whatever you're bonding over, find similar interests. I think it makes our job easier coaching them, but they're also more susceptible to the accountability side of like, yo, we rock together on a lot of things.
Right.
Now I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you can have that with your players on a big level and then a personal relationship with whoever you work with, I think it's so invaluable as a coach, you know.
All right, Coach, I appreciate the time, man. Good luck
Absolutely.
tonight. Let's get that win, light that beam. Luke Loucks, thanks so much for joining
Appreciate
me.
you. Thanks for having me on.